Hey. Welcome to your weekly corner Späti. It's me, Kieran, villain of German Twitter. Here to do colonialism on Denglish or whatever the fuck I was being accused of. And I'm joined with Nick.
Yo.
And Uma.
Hello.
So I'm just going to go into what I have here, which is the man of the hour himself, Brandon, has, or as he will be now called, Brandon, which is we'll just put the little fada over the O. He's in Ireland, which I have to assume, based on everything I know about Joe Biden.
Boyden.
Joe Boy.
Joe Boyden.
No, I just heard you say Joe Boy, and
Joe
I'm like, good old Joe Boy over there.
Everything I know about Joe Biden is him being in Ireland. He just must be like, I know very little about him, but like him being in Ireland, he must be just overjoyed.
Yeah, yeah.
This is his birthright. This is his like mecca.
Well, what was the thing he said today, where he was, or like yesterday, he was like, I'm Irish, but I'm not dumb, or something like that.
There was one on Paddy's. There was one on Paddy's Day where I'm a bad Irish because no one I know is an alcoholic or in prison or whatever.
Yeah, he actually kind of hates the Irish.
Oh my god!
Like Joe Biden, low key, actually not.
Yeah, well, it's the classic. No, it is genuinely the Irish American thing of like I am Irish, and then 10 minutes screed about the most offensive shit you can say to that Irish.
Yeah,
people.
yeah, exactly.
But it's good but I think that about myself or whatever. So there's been a couple of things. Uma, you brought to my attention him making a Troubles joke today.
Literally 2 minutes into his first speech in Irish territory.
On the island of Ireland.
On the island of Ireland. And he says like, oh, you know, last time I was here in 1991, this new... what is it? This new glass building would not have stood up for long.
Oh God!
And he repeated that like 5 minutes.
Oh,
later
you didn't hear
again.
that? Like,
Yeah.
It's like, as I said before, this new glass building.
Terrorism! Isn't that funny, guys? Woo!
Like
he's out there doing his fucking tight 5 stand-up routine, just like. I always have like the Joe Biden voice in my head, but I could just never make it happen. Because like in my head,
it's a very old voice.
Yeah,
just a very frail.
It's in my head. It's like Rick from Rick and Morty, but like breathier rather than gravelier. And instead of saying Rick, or instead of saying Morty, you just replace it with Jack. Nick, we're all gonna like get ready for like 5 minutes of all trying to do it.
No,
but back in my day, we would go down to the pool.
No, it's super slow.
It's slower than that. Yeah.
He talks very slowly.
Just the only thing I'm ever thinking of, the only Joe Biden thing I know that I can do well is when he did his, and this is so niche and dumb because I don't know anyone who fucking watched this, but when he was in Poland, and then the very first thing he just comes out and said, "Hello, Poland." That was it, and it was so weird.
So my favorite Bidenism, which whenever I do like a tweet that is meant to be Joe Biden, I will always end at this. And he's only ever done this once, but it's
stuck with you.
It's stuck with me, and it feels like everything I've heard him say after that, he should follow it up with this, is him just kind of like, after like kind of laughing, like, haha, he'll just always just go, "I'm sorry, man, I shouldn't have said that." He did that like once, and then I'm just like, that's just Joe Biden's thing now.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's one of the best ones,
Come on,
too.
man.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Joe Biden is harder, too, because he's like, his goofiness is just in the sense that he's a slow old man.
Yes.
And it's not, like, could you imagine Trump in Ireland? Could you imagine if Trump was Irish, first off? And if he was in Ireland?
Oh, he would be so offensive to the
Yeah.
nation of Ireland.
Well, he owns golf courses and like
yeah.
Clare and stuff. So
Yeah.
He does?
Yeah, he
I
opposed
didn't know
like
that.
windmills being built from the view from the, because it's like a golf course on the Atlantic coast. So like
Yeah.
when you're golfing, you just see like the Atlantic.
Yeah.
And there was going to be an offshore wind farm there, and he like made a big stink about it. Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but like, could you but I'm just saying that like Trump like goes to Ireland and he like imagine Trump making the same.
the people who are very pro-Trump in Ireland are all employed in that golf course.
Oh, I bet they are. Yeah,
Basically.
and just the sense of like that, like the alcohol comment, right? Because you know Trump's more or less like a teetotaler or
He
whatever.
is, yeah.
But just like, could you imagine that statement from him though? Just like he'd be like, I don't know. He'd try to like wrap it in, and be like, Guinness, you guys love this stuff. You know, I never touched it. You know, my father though, just an absolute like just like, you know. It'd be so great. It would be so good. We never like Irish Trump. Let's get a, you know, let's get it going.
Let's make it happen, gang. Make it happen.
You guys love this stuff.
Did you see though? Like they brought Biden to the most random places in the Republic of Ireland when he came. He was at a Spar deli in Dundalk.
Okay, so he's being taken on the tour of Ireland that I would give him. It's like, we are getting a chicken fillet roll.
Literally, like there's a picture of him getting.
I would take him to Obama Plaza.
No, could you imagine?
There's literally a picture.
Could you imagine though? Again, Trump at Obama Platz.
Obama.
What is it called? Is it called like
Obama Plaza?
Oh yeah.
This is Micheál Martin.
They took me to Obama Plaza. They took me to Obama Plaza. They wanted to rename it to Donald Trump Place. I said, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But they insisted. And they put it right there, Trump Tower, just directly there at Obama Place. I always want to say Obama Platz.
But no, again, like one of the things that Trump basically only ever did once, but stuck in my brain, is calling Obama Obamna.
Loved it, yeah. Obama Platz.
Obamna.
No.
Yeah. Obama.
But yeah, apparently when he was in that deli, Biden said that.
What's his order? I want to know his order.
Oh my God! Well, he can afford everything.
Trump would love this too, because Trump eats this shit all the time.
Trump would insist that you call it the Trump.
Yeah.
He would like order some fucked up shit at a Spar deli counter and
be like, "Hey, I just made a new creation for you."
Remember the
tuna and sweet corn. It's just like totally normal.
Yeah. Remember the one, Trump loves fast food. Two, would respect Spar as understanding that they make, you know, a whatever sandwich.
Yeah. Just literally fried chicken.
And I mean,
like run.
Trump's life would be changed by a spice bag. I think he would like literally.
Yeah.
It might make him
kill him.
Make him good or
The
something.
spice.
I don't know.
You would need to, I feel like, to really sell them in a spice bag, which is not something spice bags are done, is you would need to put it in like McDonald's style packaging.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah.
Because you just get in like a brown bag. I don't think he would trust that.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing too is that then of course,
He's a germaphobe. He's a massive germaphobe.
Oh yeah, extremely.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, but I just the idea that then if Trump found out how the spice bag got made, it might like trigger like a war. It's like
No, that would be like, we'll get to it later, but that will be his take of just like he's talking about Biden like.
I was talking with Xi Jinping. And I asked him about spice bags. Why did the Chinese come to Ireland to make spice bags?
No, because like his whole thing is like Biden's not doing a deal with Xi Jinping. Yeah. So he'd be like, we need to get China, we need to do this, we need to make a deal. I'm going to call it the spice bag deal.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, but the Joe Biden in Ireland gaffe, Joseph Biden gaffe of the week is. One that the White House has officially taken off their transcript. Like if you go to the whitehouse.gov website, you won't find the transcript, but there's videos of it and stuff. Mm-hmm. And other places are reporting it. And leads to my theory of like Biden understanding, which is he is far funnier than Trump, but they don't let him cook. They don't put him in front of the camera. They don't
just in case.
They don't. Yeah, they're hiding him away.
I mean, if you sit through one of these like. Yes, it's all nice and cute and whatever when he's like in a deli and he's like, oh my God, I love Ireland. Why did my ancestors ever leave? It's like, well, there was a thing happening there.
Some stuff happened.
But like when you listen to one of his actual speeches, that's the thing. It's just like he goes off on a tangent. He repeats jokes that were not even funny. Like it's sad, as you said. Like it's sad. It's sad. It's like just an old man just trying to keep it together.
But
you know.
Yeah, they've given him something or whatever. I don't know what's going on with him now because he was hilarious during the campaign. Just the fucking go to Biden 303033. We can win this, and then they scramble to make that like a number you can text.
An actual,
But all right. So from The Guardian, Joe Biden confuses all blacks with black and tans.
He said that. They beat the hell out of the black and tans, and he meant the old blacks.
Referring to a rugby player.
Hell yeah, awesome.
He's referring to someone he's like distantly related to as well.
Someone called Kearney or something.
Biden was thanking Rob Kearney, a distant cousin who played in the Irish rugby team that beat New Zealand, for the tie he was for the tie he was wearing. He got a tie from him. This was given to me by one of these guys right here. He was a hell of a rugby player, Jack. He beat the hell out of those back in town.
That was actually good. That was actually like I closed my eyes and I could feel Biden. I could picture Biden very far away. But I'm listening to it like it's in the distance. I'm at the big Biden event and I'm just cheering on. I can't hear him well, and that's what he sounds like to me. So that's
excellent. I'm going up.
Oh, Poland!
Oh, I really do love that he's just being taken on the tour of Ireland. That I would take people. It's because I got reminded. I'm not sure if I said this in the podcast, but I got reminded of the vibe I got from King Charles now, I guess, visiting President Steinmeier.
Oh, yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
I forgot about those, like, North Korea-ass pictures that came out.
Where it's just like...
They're making cheese.
They're planting a tree, they're looking at some potatoes, and it is real... Yeah, those are the three images.
I saw a really funny meme the other day, speaking of Frank-Walter Steinmeier. It was like a communist meme, which is very fun. It was like... what the capitalist class wants, and it was like, people fighting each other, and it's like what we really want, and it was like, the people fighting them, the leaders of every country. It had like Macron, Biden, Trump, Xi, actually didn't have Xi, but like Zelensky, Putin, everyone. And then for Germany, they didn't have Olaf Scholz, they had Frank-Walter Steinmeier. And I'm just like, I love when these like weird, I don't like using the word tanky seriously, but for internet freaks out there, we're going to use the word tanky here. My opinion on this for actual politics is that it's not really, I don't think, a coherent thing, but this is hella tanky hours of being so goddamn fucking online, but then also at the same time that Olaf Scholz is so goddamn irrelevant that you don't know what he looks like, or you just typed in, you don't know that Germany's like has a chancellor, which I feel that then if you're like if you're that type of like internet leftist, you're obsessed with the idea that like, oh yeah, Germany had like the Reichskanzler, like they're kind of like a little bit freaky in that regard of like the people who start taking German too young and they like German military stuff a little bit too much. It's like the weird internet thing is similar on the left too in that regard. It's like, how would you not know then, because you're so obsessed with then like the defeat of fascism, that you don't know that Germany doesn't. The president of Germany is not the thing.
Yeah.
Love it.
But yeah, those photos of King Charles with Steinmeier was very funny because it was totally the vibe that I would like. It just reminded me of when someone comes to visit Berlin, I really just don't know where to take them. I'm just like,
they took him to a dairy farm.
Right?
Like it's just
absolutely
random places.
If you come to visit me from Ireland to Berlin, I was like, I want to make some cheese. Here's some potatoes at a market.
Kieran's house is so hot because he's making so much cheese.
My wife just yelling at me, please turn off the kiln, and I'm like, never. Honey, we're going to save so much money. Inflation has gone crazy with cheese prices.
Yeah.
His speech was so annoying as well at the Bundestag. Like,
Charles.
He was speaking in German, but
maybe he shouldn't do that with his history.
It was, I know, but it was like, it was.
We all love when we're reminded that it's pronounced Windsor, not Windsor.
It was a very strange feeling hearing him speak, because it's like he still had a posh English accent while speaking.
Yeah, I heard
they
German.
do that. Yeah.
Like it was very, very weird.
There's some. All right, so I got really into like my linguistic bullshit recently, and I saw someone do like linguistic analysis of him speaking German, and I was like, he's doing a lot of like the correct like glottal stopping thing that German does, which gives it the harsh noise to English speakers, which is like really stopping when two vowels crash together. But then he did like he did linking R, which is a very posh thing. Yeah. So instead of saying heute Abend, he said heute Abend. Yeah. Like he puts that little R in between them. Yeah.
And then he had to stop himself like 5 times from saying Ukraine, And then he was like, Ukraine, like Ukraine.
I have not been paying attention to that discourse.
It was just
in
for
German.
work. I was just like watching it. But it was
so
weird.
Biden's having a blast.
Biden's having a great time.
Yeah.
Also, they're burning a lot of things now that Biden's there. There's
Oh yeah. We got. I watched a great video before I sat down to record of. If anyone remembers, GB News is still a thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people from the DUP had an interview with them about how he's like a secret Republican and he hates the UK and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
The White House.
Just because he said that they need to get their shit together and have a government. or
Yeah.
what?
That's emotional labor for the DUP. You can asking us to do shit is violence. Actually, Fenian violence.
Fenian violence.
And then there's the White House had to release a statement being like, the president doesn't hate the UK.
Oh, also because he didn't fly a UK flag when he was in Northern Ireland, like in his car.
Yeah.
When he has been in the Republic, it had like little Irish flags.
Yeah.
But it didn't have a UK flag when
Yeah.
he was up in Northern Ireland, and people are really crying.
Well,
about it.
see, Joe
Well,
Biden
people,
really
The Guardian
understands.
or whatever.
Because this discussion that then's going to come up later is obviously then Taiwan, China, this and that and that.
Yeah.
And what people don't realize is that then the official it's like the same thing with China, is that then when people say Taiwan's China, and you get all mad and you're like, well, that's actually the official position of every country in the world, this and that and that.
Like 2 countries don't do that.
Yeah, remember then Lithuania tried to become the third one and then immediately switched it. Well,
Yeah.
Joe Biden, does actually the thing that people don't recognize is that the United States doesn't recognize Northern Ireland as a part of the United Kingdom. And
They just don't think about it at all.
no, yeah. And I'm not serious about that at all. And I really wish it was that way. But
It's not like the official statement.
I really wish
all
it was.
maps you buy in the US
yeah,
just
exactly.
has a United
It's
Ireland
just
on it.
United Ireland. Yeah. So Joe Biden is doing actually, that like just 5D Biden chess of actually the official U.S. position is United Ireland because we're not going to fly this really ugly flag.
I did.
It's so ugly, isn't
It's
it?
not a good flag. The British, the
Union
UK,
Jack.
the
Yeah,
Union
Union
Jacks
Jack
too.
is
Like it's
ugly as
iconic,
hell.
but like I don't like that it doesn't line up right. Like like there's like these weird spacings. Oh, it pisses me off.
Yeah. And there's that whole thing of so we all know we were on the internet in the 2000s. We all know the Westboro Baptist Church.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them.
They with their whole thing of they fly the American flag upside down because there's too many gay people and now America is in distress or something, and you fly a flag upside down.
I fly the American flag upside down because I'm stupid.
Yes, literally.
You just look up
I
the
was
flagpole,
gonna
like, oh, fucked up. That's already up there. I'm not pulling it back down.
Yeah.
So they fly it upside down. That's their whole
My
thing.
neighbors think that I'm like a right wing extremist.
Can you fly the Union Jack upside down? No.
Yeah, you
right?
can.
Yeah, you can.
But the difference between it being right way up and upside down is so slight.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
No, because
The Germans
I
do that
have you
too.
seen that picture? Have you seen the picture of me when I was a teenager with like a cardboard cutout of Niall Horan and like?
No, but go on.
Okay, so there's this picture of me,
Yeah.
which is I think the best picture taken of me.
Yeah.
ever. But yeah. So for those who are listening, it's just basically me when I was like 15
Sure.
with like braces on and everything.
Yeah.
Standing in a very weird way next to a life-size cardboard cutout of Niall Horan wearing a One Direction T-shirt, a One Direction hat,
Yeah.
and
that rocks.
sorry, and in the back there's a Union Jack because I was obsessed with One Direction and most
Yeah.
of them were British, right? So I was like, oh my god, yeah.
And their
I
branding
love
had the Union Jack in it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. They did
Yeah.
like keep calm and be British, like
Yeah.
these kind of stuff. But then I had the Catalan flag really small. But I posted that, and obviously all my Irish mutuals were like, or
They
friends,
just shat on you.
obviously.
Yeah. We all have
but
a
it's
pre-woke
fine.
period.
It's fine. But then apparently someone.
being a 15-year-old is
Yeah,
not the
it's-
pre-woke period. It's just being a teenager.
It's just being 15.
I think everyone
Yeah.
was really mean to Uma, even though she was a member of the BNP.
Yeah.
But
Zayn was just like, yeah, you need
the
to join
thing
the British
is,
National Party.
someone pointed out that the Union flag is upside down,
Yeah.
so they were like, "You're fine."
That rocks.
We obviously didn't even know. I was like, "Yes."
I was at when there was like all the Corona protests happening. I remember Yulia and I went to go see Dune. It was like the first time we could go back to the movies.
Right,
You know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
we're like cinematic adventure. Let's get really high and watch a big sci-fi movie.
Yes.
Oh my god,
Lovely.
That sounds like hell.
It was phenomenal. I loved it. Brilliant day. And then we like
You're just there freaking out. I was like, maybe the spice doesn't have. Maybe the spice doesn't have to flow. Ever think of that? Maybe.
oh no, I was having a blast. It was like when Rob gave me an edible at House of Gucci. Is like
that's the recommended viewing
yeah.
experience.
It was like, let me get into my zone. It's like
Yeah.
whatever the Kanye West line is from the song
Keep me out
from
of my
Friends
zone.
in
Keep me out of
Paris.
my zone.
Yeah. So we left, got out of this near 3-hour movie. Like I'm still kind of baked, and I just see this like Corona protest, and I go up to them and I'm just like, "Hey, your German flag is upside down." And then the guy's like, and I kind of ish knew because I'm like, are they doing like the American thing?
Yeah.
But are they? But I'm like, but maybe they're just really stupid.
Yeah.
And he's like, the guy's like trying to explain. He's like, no, like this is like, it's on purpose. It's like, it's like to say that then like Germany's in distress. And I'm like, oh yeah, but your flag's upside down.
Dude, I just saw Dune. Pretty
How
great
did they
movie.
not like beat you?
They got really mad. Like I just, and then for people follow me on Instagram, there's a bunch of pictures of me posing with their stuff.
Oh my god.
Like one of the things, I don't know, it's just like, oh fuck, just like Nie wieder Diktatur and shit like that.
Yeah.
Whatever shit.
Oh,
Oh, I love it.
Classic. But but anyway, the whole thing I was getting at is one of the things they love doing in Westboro Baptist Church is when any country legalized gay marriage, they would fly their flag upside down. And yeah, they complained. They literally complained that the UK one didn't look that different when it was upside down, especially from a distance.
You guys. Yeah, they got really mad. They got really mad when they had to flip the old Libyan flag upside down because it's just a green block.
But yeah, no, they there's literally a video of when Ireland passed the referendum.
Which was like 2016, right?
14, 15?
14.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it said Corona Diktatur beenden, and there's me just like.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ.
But they had there's a little great video of the guy just flipping it in front of his like 8-year-old kid who's also like in all this stuff as well, obviously, or whatever, but he's a child. But the kid fucking owns him because he flips it upside down and he's like, no, that hasn't changed. And then like he reverses it and the kid just goes, that's the Ivory Coast.
I love when I, flip it down and reverse it or whatever Missy Elliott tells me to do with the Irish flag.
Yeah. Anyway, the big news in Ireland is Germany has, with its new government, decided to do one of the things it said it would do when it became a government, and then it got rolled over by the tides of history, and Putin invaded Ukraine.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
But
that happened.
The two things that anyone kind of considered somewhat positive that this government was going to do was, make it easier for
Dual citizenship,
yeah.
Which now the CDU, I don't know if you've been seeing,
Oh, I
but
have,
then
yeah.
like a bunch of people in the CDU have been like doubling down because it's like
they're high in the polls. They're really feeling themselves.
yeah, they're really in their zone, and they're like, what if I just just flip it around and just throw a little bit of like that old sauce with them, I'm cooking and just bam, 1933 laws, like let's break the fucking calipers out,
absolutely. If they're still doing well in the polls of like opinion polls in like a month, they're going to start bringing back.
What if Poland was ours?
Yeah, no, they're literally going to start bringing back those like pamphlets they had in the 80s of reunification means reunification, and they want
Poland.
They want Poland back.
Yeah, so I mean, like a bunch of people in the CDU are then like full blown, just like being like Germany needs to go back to blood laws for their citizenship, and
we partnered with 23andMe.
That's really cool hearing the CDU just like all right. First off, Entnazifizierung didn't work because the CDU is still a party. Let's just get that out there. All right, the fact that you have some of the most vile, disgusting pieces of shit that then just like walk around in Germany that then are considered to be like respectable people, and they're again Nazis. Like, this is Nazi shit. I don't give a shit if I'm like breaking a law, calling every member of the fucking CDU like either a Nazi or a fascist sympathizer, because I don't care. Like, I just whatever. What are you gonna you're gonna find me? Like, like, sorry. Like, Germany has these weird freedom of speech laws. I can call someone a Nazi if they fucking want to like reinstate 1933 laws
super easy
of
for them to
Yeah.
to sue you though.
What?
It's super easy, like the libel.
The libel thing is just that then that like they can be like, oh well, I mean, I'm just calling you a name. I don't know. I don't really care. Whatever. But Germany has dumb laws about that. However, when you start like literally like recycling laws from 1933 and start breaking out fucking calipers, and the reason why they want to do it is because particularly they're afraid of quote unquote, as they say, anti-Semites getting citizenship, which they mean Muslims.
Maybe Muslims.
Which, come on, like, you know, what year is this? Is this 2012, baby? Like I thought that this party was like past the like.
No, Merkel's gone. We're
Islamophobe.
doing it again.
Yeah, it's so fucking tedious. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's like you have then, you know, people in the party like, you know, Hans-Georg Maaßen, who like literally is a Nazi, like probably is a member of like some Nazi organization that just hasn't been uncovered yet, and has openly worked with Nazis to then make sure that Nazis can keep doing crimes and hiding evidence. And like, you know, remember like the CDU is responsible for just a bunch of, you know, evidence disappearing, you know, in cases. But yeah, so we're really, you know, that law is never going to happen, the dual citizenship one, because the CDU is being very adamant that they need to have the best and brightest minds come to Germany, which for them are just only white Germans to remain in the country.
And even like in other countries for other reasons.
Yeah,
Who knows?
And the thing that's so funny too is that even Foreign Policy magazine, a conservative publication, came out as like, Germany needs to get better about it's like not even really the dual citizenship, but the dual citizenship thing. But it's like, you guys are so fucking mean. Like, you think that you're like the nicest people in Europe, and everyone who moves into this country, like, is berated and bullied by Germans, you know, or whatever. So, and I really think that the citizenship thing is like kind of that one thing that then, you know, if Germany wants to like actually expand its economy and attract labor, they have to change it. And two, you gotta be fucking nicer. Yeah. You know? However, we're not here talking about citizenship because we've had an episode on that, I think, before, if I'm not mistaken, about the things I mentioned, that then a lot of Germany's laws literally came down to blood, like, or like, you know, genetic phenotype if you were allowed to be German. Yeah. And the other law is that then if you want to, you know, blaze it up, baby. Yeah. And it's taking forever. And the German government also knows how to really, like, make a confusing proposition. Let's just say that.
Yeah. So the other thing, as Nick points out, was making it easier to be foreign in this country or have dual citizenship, and weed legalization. It really sucks that like it's the FDP that's the ones that are proposing this, or like they were the big like pushers of these two things that are remotely positive, and they do it for like they're both doing it for like the worst reasons.
But no, the FDP also doesn't want the citizenship thing half the time either. Their party is so split on that because remember, they also can't understand what year it is. They're like, oh, are we like the FDP that wants to like remember the campaign poster of against denazification because they were afraid if they were afraid if you dug too deep into the members of the FDP, who used to be the Liberal Democratic Party of Germany, you're going to end up finding a lot of fucking Nazis in it, which is, surprise, surprise, there's a lot of Nazis who are in the FDP, or a lot of, you know, whatever.
In the libertarian politics. And then you have like their version of like letting in dual citizenship, or like getting dual citizenship be a more normal thing in Germany. It's just like, we would like Jack Ma to move here.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. They just want it to be like really, 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 really rich people, and not actually have it. I mean, because they would still make the citizenship process still quite difficult for if you were like. I mean, they'd probably make it similar to like the U.S.'s, you know? Yeah. Like the U.S. allows dual citizenship. But becoming a citizen of the United States is the biggest fucking nightmare in the world.
I think if they could really get away with it, they'd probably push for like a golden passport system. Like pay us $10K and we'll give you a passport.
Yeah. The Cayman Islands have a great, you know, method of that. But
listen to our Cyprus episode. But let's go to the weed.
Yeah, I'm sorry that then I ran out of weed. I can't be blazed as hell for you to give you the proper journalism here, but yeah. So Germany has done this thing of that. Then their planning to roll out what they're calling a 2-pillar plan. And the first pillar,
2 pillars of Islam.
yeah, the 2 pillars of Islam, chumin and vaping.
Yeah.
So the first one is about what it more or less is just decriminalization. And so the main, I'm going to just go through the really main points. Is that then personal possession is 25 grams, and then the maximum amount that you're allowed to purchase per month, I believe, is 50 grams. All right.
Okay.
So, which is a very weird thing, but then you kind of realize, like, all right, like that's per individual. 25 grams is allowed to be on you, and then for a monthly purchase, the thing that you are allowed to purchase per month is 50.
Okay.
I don't know how you would move then. Let's say if you were to buy 50, I guess you can't buy 50 grams. 25 would be the max, and then whatever. Yeah. So now, other things like, so possession, consumption, where you can consume it is that you can't consume it near schools, this and that, very pretty standard stuff. But where would you then say buy this weed? And this is where it gets really funny, because part of the idea I kind of get, and it makes a lot of sense, because you want to have it then, again, remember this is a method of decriminalization, not legalization. And so what they're doing is that they're passing, which the German government are calling cannabis clubs, which would be what you think they are.
My band name when I was 16.
Yeah. You have like a poster of just like a chick in a bikini that has weed leaves on it, and she's so fucking hot, bro. And like, weed's your personality, even though you're like 15 and if maybe like you smoked like the fucking shittiest weed in your life once, and it changed your life, dog. I feel you.
And you won't tell any of your friends this, but you still watch Powerpuff Girls because it's just a good show.
Yeah, exactly. So. The very German solution to this, which, again, like I said, on the fence about, are these cannabis clubs. And so what they are is that they are organizations that then would allow you to then, they're legally allowed to grow and distribute weed to members of these organizations. So you have to join one of these cannabis clubs in order to blaze it up. You cannot smoke at the cannabis club either. That is also another place you're not like business and pleasure have to happen in 2 different places.
So if this club has a physical location, you can't actually smoke in it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, they all have physical locations. They're just it's your spot where you go and blow tree.
Okay.
Actually, a lot of places in the U.S. have a similar policy with dispensaries and stuff like that. You can't smoke at the dispensary. There's like a smokers lounge. So it's like also just because of like smoking laws.
Like a changing room. Sample the goods.
Yeah, so it is very much in the sense that then that you join an organization, one of these cannabis clubs, or like an Eingetragene Verein would be like the German equivalent of that, if you know what that is, and they're allowed to have max 500 members, and that is more or less it so far about like the nitty gritty with those. Also, then things too like personal, so you have to join a club in order to then get things like seeds, plants. Stuff like that. You're allowed 3 plants or 3 or 5 plants, I believe, 5 for personal use. And then I think you're allowed to have on you 7 seeds,
right? If
you want to then, and you're all, like the plants have to then only be males, if I'm not mistaken. It's very specific. So I made fun of the cannabis club. Yeah. It's really silly. It's the most German way of doing it. But then you kind of think of it like, all right, well,
it's not German though, because in Catalonia that's how it works.
Yeah.
Like literally in Catalonia, there's the clubs, las associations.
Okay.
And you have like a member club card basically, but you can smoke there. That's the whole point. Yeah. That it's better for you to smoke there and buy weed there than like outside where it's fully illegal.
So in Germany, you are allowed to smoke outside.
Okay.
You're just not allowed to smoke on like. As they said, on the sidewalk, you can't smoke, which I don't know. Like, the thing that's very interesting with this is that...
Me blazing up in the middle of the autobahn.
Yeah.
In the middle of the road. Just been like, I got to do it on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that then, like, I mean, I definitely have, like, left my house plenty of times and walked around, like,
smoking
it's not enforced, That's one where I'm just thinking in the sense of, like, obviously I'm not going to smoke in front of kids, but, like...
Yeah.
Berlin is kind of that example of that then, like, we talked about this before, I think, on the show, where then, like, Germany has one state by state based legal, not legal, but state by state process of, their marijuana or drug and consumption laws, this and that. And for Berlin is even weirder because it just is just more. It's just kind of like tolerated. Like you can be busted, of course, for like drug dealing. However, it's like it is very much then that like everyone like. No, like I don't know. I smell joints all the fucking time, just like walking around.
Oh yeah. But like, so
I've been in bars that like
exactly.
let you smoke a joint.
Yeah.
So the in the legal status of cannabis map in the world, I always remember finding this kind of giddy because I never thought of this as like being a category you can be. Obviously, you have legal, which it's actually like Canada and the United States, Mexico. What one is that again? Is that Uruguay? I think it's Uruguay. South Africa. Didn't know that about South Africa. Malta, Georgia, and Thailand. That's basically
Georgia,
it.
whatever.
Yeah,
It's just
the
random
nation of
countries.
Georgia, and also the ACT, the I can't remember what that stands for. The Australian Capital Territory. That's it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The like state in Australia that's just Canberra. That's capital. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's very small, actually, the amount of places where it's, like, legal. But then you have decriminalized, obviously we've all heard that one, and then illegal, marked in red. But then the category that Germany falls under, which is, again, like I said, a category I didn't expect to appear on this map, illegal but not enforced. Like, unenforced. So
it's like Spain as well.
Spain has decriminalized.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Germany is different to where in the sense of that then it is written into the law that it is illegal, just that then also no one actually is going to enforce it, particularly with marijuana consumption.
Yeah.
Not
if it's
with
like
dealing.
You're
Yeah,
just
dealing.
having a fucking joint.
Yeah.
Like,
So even in Germany now, even in
Happen.
Berlin now, like I can like personal possession up to a certain amount won't get you in trouble.
Yeah.
It's just like
If they see that it's literally just for you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same.
I mean, I tell them I have a pound of weed and like I swear it's all mine. Trust me.
And also...
I just smoke a lot, okay? I need it.
And then, like, in the European context, we're... Like, Germany is pretty much surrounded by countries that have all kind of, like, decriminalized it. Switzerland, Czech Republic, Austria, Italy, Netherlands and Belgium, and Luxembourg have all, like, decriminalized. The only countries that we border that it's still, like, fully illegal, Poland, Denmark, and France.
Yeah. So...
France.
It's not fully legal in the Netherlands.
No, yeah.
But decriminalized is
Yeah. No, the Netherlands actually had it for a while that it was like it wasn't. I mean, they
really strictly enforce like where you can do it.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff,
also have to be Dutch to buy it.
And then
Really? Oh,
You
okay.
have to have a Dutch passport because they have a problem with tourists.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, now they're like, British people, please don't come.
I mean, to be fair,
Please
like,
stop
British
falling
man.
into the canal. There's bikes down there half the time. It will just fuck you up.
yeah. So, all right. So Germany has okay. So this is the first pillar. Is this pillar of legalization or decriminalization, and so that's nationwide. So they're going to vote for it at the end of this month, and as they've been saying, wann bubat's legal, possibly very soon, or not really legal, but entkriminalisiert.
Yep.
And I think that then it's like, although the thing I'm very worried about it, like for Germany, is that then say that then that, because one of the things that the CDU and CSU, particularly the CSU, have been very adamant about is that their drug policy still exists from like, the 1950s. They think that then that like, if you smoke weed, you're going to listen to jazz.
It's going to turn you
and it's going to
communist.
turn you black or whatever. Yeah, exactly. They watch Reefer Madness and they're like, well, yeah, no, exactly.
The German version of Reefer Madness is just taking like one hit of the blunt and then you're just like, I need to defect to the GDI.
Yeah, hit the blunt, and I'm swinging, and tapping.
I'm joining the Stasi.
Yeah, like it is very funny how this party is so like Markus Söder had like all these things of like how like that drug legalization is going to lead. Like it's so fucking stupid. Like the correlation between crime and drugs, especially weed, is not there.
Yeah.
So, but the thing I'm very curious about that the which if you know, please let me know because I've tried to find this out. There's no information about it. How is your information going to be distributed if you're a member of one of these clubs? All right, because
Datenschutz, baby.
Datenschutz is very important in Germany. However, at the same time, too, if the government changes, they then have like all of these directories of people who are smoking weed.
Legally declared.
Legally, yeah, you know, like legally blazing up.
Weed smokers.
Like the new CDU, like the new Jamaica government of just like taking on the list of.
Yeah, imagine the Jamaica coalition legalizing weed. Which like kind of could happen.
That would be funny. That would be funny for a lot of reasons. But I do like the idea of like a Schwarzkronen government comes next, and they're just like, yeah, we've got the list of people that we're going to be rounding up. We call it the people who can hang for multiple reasons.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, I'm like
it took a while to get to that joke.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about the sense of like job discrimination, stuff like that could come about in the sense of that then you're literally creating a directory of people, possibly creating a directory, which Germany loves doing. Yeah. Don't ask questions about why that is. They just love collecting names, lists, lists, and lists. And there has the thing I would be very curious of is that then how is Germany going to go about and I would hope having protection for people who then are in these groups because, yes, I agree. I am very much of the opinion, of course, as I hope that then other people are who listen to the show, that then, like, yes, if you're a part of a Verein and you smoke weed, you shouldn't have to worry about it. However, there's a lot of very regressive. I mean, remember, like, too, Germans think that then literally a lot of them think that then it's like you smoke weed, you turn black or whatever, like, or you're gonna start, developing I don't know, like jazz fever and doing that type of shit.
I think it's maybe a little bit more up to date than that. I think
hip hop and and you're gonna listen to
too much. I think they're listening to like the CDU reactionary version of someone who smoked too much weed is listening to like Mr. President's Coco Jambo.
Yeah, exactly, because it's like still 1995.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I mean, especially in the sense that the CDU is so concerned about like clan criminality and shit that.
Yeah.
They're going to connect these things, and I can guarantee you that they would try to then use then the weed registry that then exists. And I'm wondering in the sense of that then would you be organized just by simply like a number that your name is then like kept off and you have like anonymity and stuff like that. So Germany needs to figure this out because I am incredibly worried of the next government because it's not going to be this one. This government's very unpopular, and they should just force this. I mean, because Germany doesn't have any level of executive orders. Everything has to go through the Bundestag. That's why the German government's so slow in doing everything because it's hyper decentralized in a lot of ways, for good reason. But yes, so pillar one is this just decriminalization. Those are my concerns of it, and. The weed club. If you want to make a weed club with us, we're taking names.
I'm mostly okay. Look, Kieran.
Here we go.
Kieran's a good boy. Kieran is partial to a Japanese beer occasionally, but I will. If you join the Corner Späti Weed Verein, I will be sending out merch of popular cartoon characters from Germany.
Blazing it.
We all know the classics of like getting a hoodie that has SpongeBob completely faded on it.
Yeah. What about if mouse and elephant are just like
Sendung mit der Maus.
Mouse.
Yeah. Mouse.
Absolutely blazing it. I'm thinking.
Dude,
Tintin.
I would so fucking wear that.
I'm thinking Alfred J. Quack.
Yeah. Blazing.
I'm thinking als die Tiere den Wald verließen. We're doing it all.
The Sandman.
That one Czech hedgehog that everyone still loves.
Yeah.
Blazing it.
Exactly. I want those. Did you guys don't remember the like blinged out shirts that had like Tony the Tiger and he had like a big chain and then he'd have like a gun or whatever or something.
Oh
it would say like big play on it or something.
I love that they would dress Tony the Tiger that way because he didn't need it. He was always a top.
Yeah, exactly.
There was no doubt.
Yeah, the best one that is always like is the SpongeBob one where he has like the money and whatnot.
No. Okay, my pushback on that. I think the best one. Timmy from Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh my God.
Yes. Where Cosmo and Wanda are bongs.
Yes.
And then
yeah.
he has like a gun, and then wasn't her name like Trixie or something like that?
Sometimes it was
nanny, yes.
What?
No, Trixie was the girl he fancied, but then there was also the babysitter would sometimes appear.
Yeah, no, Trixie
babysitter
though.
who was mean.
Trixie is then on his
Yeah.
bed,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't know. It's
Both these
he's
characters
so
are
sick.
12.
Exactly, it's so fucking sick. He has a gun for some reason. It rocks. I want that. I want.
That's what
I
the
want.
CDU thinks
Yeah,
happens to you.
exactly.
When you smoke weed.
Yeah, I want Mouse, blazing up with just like a fucking, Glock in his hand.
Oh, the elephant definitely as well, because there's smoke coming out of the trunk. That just
Exactly.
fights itself.
Yeah. The
The
elephant.
elephant is Benjamin Blümchen.
No, the elephant's just elephant.
Ah.
The little blue one. Yeah.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
Mouse.
yeah.
No, but do you know Benjamin Blümchen?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That one would be also funny.
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Especially
digging
with the
suggestions.
Yeah,
way he-
Benjamin Blümchen has he has a balaclava on, grills, blunt in his mouth, and just like an AK,
Oh my god.
and then a big chain.
Childhood ruined.
Yeah.
I think the corner Späti Verein is we do not do any of the legal stuff to become a weed Verein. I just send you pictures of these things.
Exactly. Yeah. We're just a fan club for blinged out shirts that Germany needs now. Now that weed's going to be
What would the
decriminalized.
name be though?
What? Well, my idea was I think it just Berlin City Blazers, because we sound like a basketball team.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does sound like a baseball. Didn't you say?
What?
Did you say what is it? Big day, big tasty.
Oh yeah, big day, big tasty.
Day, Big Tasty,
absolutely.
yeah.
That's the name of our weed variety. You kidding me?
That's right, baby. You also sent me Vape and Revolution
Vape and
earlier, which I
Revolution.
fucking loved. All right. So that's okay. Back to
yeah,
topic.
second
We can and then the second pillar is then that Germany then after a few years of doing this process is going to then have to, obviously, because the European Union, everyone forgets, it is still like illegal to legalize weed. This is why they're doing it, and so they have to then send info continuously to the EU of how this project is going
Oh my
in
God.
order for them to do a state by state test of legalization.
Yeah.
So that is then the ultimate plan is then is state by state legalization.
That one Bulgarian guy can just do like a Hitler Groose, but you can't wear a turned up Timmy
yeah.
Turner T-shirt in fucking in the EU Parliament.
Yeah, that just reminded me of the designer song Timmy Turner, which actually kind of slaps. But thank you. Yeah, Rob also will agree with me with that because when I mentioned designer, he was like, "Yo, dog." Actually, Timmy Turner, great song. It is a great song. Yeah. So. It is kind of like Germany really figured out the most like convoluted German way of doing this.
Okay.
And like I got the pamphlet from the Gesundheitsministerium. It is like 12 pages of, and I mean, to be very fair,
So
it has
what
to
is
be
weed?
Yeah, literally, it literally does that thing that like every dipshit who thinks they're really smart, and they start with like the Oxford dictionary definition of
Yes.
cannabis.
Are you serious?
No, they didn't
Oh.
do that. But
Oh
you,
my
have you
God.
never
No,
watched?
I fully believe
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I was like, yeah.
You've
that
never seen like a
sounds about
TED
right.
talk where, like, especially like TEDx ones, where like anyone can come give a thing, and they're like the Oxford
yeah.
dictionary definition of blazing.
But
is,
they're wrong.
yeah, and it's like all right, that's
I want my TEDx talk to be like the economic impact of faded SpongeBob hoodies.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's what it's going to be, and it's weird and very German.
Yeah,
Very
and but
bureaucratic.
all you know what at the end of the day, regardless of, I'm stoked on joining a new club.
Yep.
That's all I can say. I hope that other members of the show will also join a club with me.
Yeah.
And we can have we can test the waters of how does German decriminalize. You know what? I'll make a day in the life of Nick.
A
Of,
documentary.
yeah, a documentary of what's it like to buy weed in Germany.
That's
I'm
that's
I'm
a
stoked
very
about
That's
it.
interesting, yeah, actually.
I've never lived in a country where, I mean, like, as someone who really enjoys smoking weed, I'm very excited about this.
And look, all I'm excited for is making the membership cards for our Verein, and also for Datenschutz.
They're also blinged out.
Yeah, they're also blinged out. For Datenschutz protection, you won't have your name on it. You get to pick a word for being high, and then a cartoon character of your preference, and that will be your pseudonym in the... Yeah, so you can be,
It's like, what's your stripper name?
What's your
What's your highest
yeah.
fuck Verein name?
Yeah.
All right. So, do you want to talk about something slightly more serious, but also kind of weird and stupid?
I think that was pretty serious. Blazing up I mean, German weed legalization is a really big point of this government that they're maybe never going to pass.
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
So, Macron's really just wild now, is basically my thing. So, Macron on Sunday did an interview with Les Echos, in which is a French paper, and then it was also like kind of reprinted and did his own exclusive thing with Politico.eu. And yeah, with the website that I love to hate. So we all probably saw it. He went to China. Man just loves not being in France right now for reasons.
For obvious reasons.
Mr. Worldwide!
He loves China.
Monsieur Worldwide.
Monsieur tout le monde.
I don't know any French, so. Except for
Just trust me on it. Citation, I made it up. Anyway.
Trust me.
So, he went to China while the riots were still going on. He also went with Ursula von der Leyen, but she was there for less time. And she was kind of like holding the line and saying what you're meant to say as like an EU politician, which is, you know, as Nick kind of said earlier, official policy is there's only one China. It's the big one.
There's only one. Yeah, there is only one God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you know, the EU and the US has to pay like a certain degree of lip service towards Taiwan, protecting it, guaranteeing its independence, etc., etc. Macron decided, nah, fuck it. And actually, I'm just going to read the little bit in italics that is at the end of the article. As is common in France and many other European countries, the French president's office, known as the Élysée Palace, insisted on checking and proofreading, quotations, all the president's quotes to be published on this article as a condition of guaranteeing the interview. This violates Politico's editorial standards and policy, but we agreed to the terms in order to speak directly with the French president.
It doesn't actually violate their policy and things, because if they've done an interview with anyone in Europe, every country, they said this, whatever.
Yeah, this is the end of the article.
Yeah. But the thing I just find that's so funny is that then it's like, maybe they're just doing this because like Macron they're just like not happy with in this moment or something.
Yeah.
Because the thing I find that's so fucking weird about Germany is that whenever you interview someone, they're like, "Oh, can I look over my work?" And it's like, you said this.
Yeah.
Why do I have to like? So many things in Germany get shot down because the person who's being interviewed is like, I don't want it to go out, and it's like, well, you agreed to this. What the fuck's wrong with you now? Like, you know, so this is very weird to me that they wrote this, because Politico is now owned by a German, so this has become much more normal, you know.
So I'm going to continue though. This is all very
of course,
good points.
yeah. I know.
Politico insisted that it cannot deceive its readers and would not publish anything the president did not say. The quotes in this article were all actually said by the president, but some parts of the interview in which the president spoke even more frankly about Taiwan and Europe's strategic autonomy were cut by the Élysée.
That's right. That's right, baby. You know, Macron, I think that, you know, he realized what he's done is wrong, and he's like, the true path is socialism with Chinese characteristics. All right?
Macron wants this, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm going to read from Reuters, actually, and they're reporting on it. French officials were in damage control on Tuesday as they tried to contain anger, division, and confusion sparked by President Emmanuel Macron's comments on Europe's dependence on the United States and its relations with China and Taiwan. Macron's comment came in an interview on a trip to China that was meant to showcase European unity on a China policy, with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen also taking part, but highlighted differences within the European Union. In the interview with the French daily Les Echos and news portal Politico, published on Sunday, Macron called for the EU to reduce its dependence on the US and to become a third pole in the world affairs alongside Washington and Beijing. So, Gaullism's back, baby.
Let's go, baby.
We're doing Gaullism
No.
Hell yeah. France has nukes and should run Europe.
Yeah, under socialism with Chinese characteristics as being their guiding light.
I no, unfortunately, it's just going to be.
I know,
we're gonna do
but I can dream, can't I?
Yeah, you can. We're going to do.
Dreaming is free.
we're going to do American shit, but to Africa instead of the Middle East.
Oh my
is basically what
That
globalism
is, yeah, exactly. That is, yeah. I mean, the thing I just find that's so funny about Macron is that then he'll do the thing that then when it comes to his foreign policy is so funny because like he'll sometimes do the right thing for the wrong reason.
Oh yeah,
like
well, that's
he just he just wants to
Part of
become
Gaullism.
like he wants to become like Mr. fucking like Mr. fucking like center of attention. So he's like like the thing that he said about that maybe the EU shouldn't blindly follow the US into a literal fucking war that the US is trying to start in China. Which, sorry, you can literally point to them when the administrations got handed over. Then the Biden administration's like, we need war. And the Democrats more so, the Democrats right now and like liberals do this thing in the U.S. where it's just this continuous justification of fucking human. Like the Republicans are just honest and they're like, we want to nuke China, whatever, fuck it. Like, boom, boom, guns blazing. And that shit doesn't work as well because it's too brutal. And like the stupid like humanitarian like woe is me than that of don't we need to help whittle Taiwan? It's like you could help them by getting the fuck away from them because every time you send a representative there, China does the largest military drills humanly imaginable.
Oh my god! Didn't like Pelosi spend
Yes,
way too long
exactly.
in Taiwan?
It's just don't fucking go. It's it's like whatever.
She went rogue though, wasn't that the thing? Like, she just went,
it's like your country's policy is literally that then not go to China, and then now you want to just do it just to it's like literally like I'm gonna own the libs or whatever. It's like I hope that Xi Jinping, if you were like a good tyrant, you would have nuked the U.S. fucking years ago. Like. For fuck's sake, they're so irrational and stupid and childish. And it's the funniest fucking thing whenever you see the Chinese officials being like, we've been very clear in our position since forever. The U.S. are behaving like literal fucking toddlers because everyone in the country is fucking stupid. It's like whenever, like, did you watch the TikTok things of like, oh, now listen here, on my, can I use TikTok on my cellular device? And
oh my God,
do I have wire? I'll say. Is this wireless device connected to the World Wide Web? Like literal fucking idiots. I mean, come on.
My favorite aspect of like there was a lot of great quotes of just saying really dumb shit, and that got circulated and stuff. My favorite other thing that was happening in that is just like. Now, Mr. Zhang, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. The absolute snack of
All right, Uma approval. But just like, no, you are you spying on us? No, sir, we're not. Well, you win this round.
And I mean, it's like it's the thing about then. It's like obviously,
I thought I got you with that one.
Yeah,
but they were saying the most hard, like, are you responsible for the genocide? And he's like. I'm
Singapore.
Just
it's like, sir, this is a Wendy's, and I'm trying to make a TikTok video inside of it.
I mean, the thing that I came away with of that is just like, we need every tech CEO to go through that. Just like I want everyone to be like kind of racist towards Jeff Bezos, like in a court tribunal or whatever. But
yeah.
I wish, but they would.
No, they wouldn't. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like for fuck's sake. I mean, anyone who has half a brain knows that. Then, like, okay, yes, the United States and like the FBI and the CIA are working with them that of creating backdoors through Apple and like all. It's like we don't. If you cared about data protection and about shit like that and about security online, you would pass those laws. The U.S. doesn't want to do these because it is a geopolitical advantage for them to spy on everyone, just as it of course is a geopolitical advantage for China to do the literal exact same fucking thing. So it's like if you're going to play by this method of doing something and then get mad when someone else does the literal exact same thing, and then Europe is so fucking cucked by the United States and then also so stupid within their method of like, I mean, like the Merkel hyper neoliberalism. Remember, she is the true ideologue in that, Germany's position towards, building out their 5G network through Huawei and then stuff like that is like, you could have picked a different company, or if you cared about the German economy, you would have then done it in the method of telecom doing it, because, like, it's like, why do you think?
State industry.
Yeah, so then whenever Europeans complain about, like, why is it then that of, which the entire rant of this is stolen from a friend of mine. This is not none of these original thoughts are from me. I feel I have to, like, cite my work.
Yeah.
But, it is the fact of, like, this idea of that, yeah, when like European companies go into China, they're like, well, why can't we build, 5G? It's like, because we built our own, It's like, if Europe wants to then, and I'm not saying that then in every aspect of the economy needs to become like, completely like decoupled from like globalization. That's just impossible. And we're seeing now that if you decouple yourself from China, you're going to destroy, not even just like, oh, you're going to be bad. Like the Netherlands and Germany too are thinking of ripping out the 5G networks to then put them back in by either Sony Ericsson or Nokia.
Yeah. Put the fins on it.
Yeah, Nokia, a company that then does
Get
all
off
their
your Angry Birds. Get back to Nokia.
yeah, that does all their manufacturing in like India or whatever. That then a country that then too is also like incredibly chaotic right now. It's like what do you just?
Yeah. So bringing this back in, you brought up India. I really do love how the for anyone who doesn't know, before Russia invaded Ukraine, there was this real idea that India, amongst conservatives in the United States mostly, that India was going to be the West's bulwark against China.
It has been a thing that Russia can money launder out of practically. That's the thing too, is that then it's like, all right, fine, yeah, you want like Nokia to then, it's like, what makes you think that then like, okay, like Russia could then probably easily convince like a manufacturer, like the company that Nokia is outsourcing that labor to, to be like, oh, hey, you want to like have some like GRU fucking like, loopholes and whatnot. It's just so, I mean, like, it really is all this shit with that is like, so then back to like Macron can go there, say like the one good thing of like, yeah, maybe like, we shouldn't be listening to, Foghorn Leghorn and, Uncle Sam about what we should do about China, because they really just want to go to war. Yeah. I think it's very clear. There is no economic goal of the U.S. at that point. It literally is just because the U.S. is so threatened by their power that they're drastically losing, as we're seeing with, the Ukraine stuff. That they're not really too happy with it. But the world doesn't kind of care outside of like 4 countries in Europe, us being in one of them right now. But it's like you talk to like. There was a thing with like Lula right now as being like, there's a bunch of things being written about him because he's like, I don't want to follow the U.S. He's like, Bolsonaro fucking loved Trump, this and that and that. And also like committed a genocide in the country that then's being like investigated in currently. It's like, maybe I'm going to go my own way. Yeah. And a lot of other countries are doing that same thing too. And it's like, we're just at the end of the U.S. empire. And the U.S. is just like, well, I have the fucking, vest on. I'm going to take us all down, baby. Let's go. Let's like nuke China a million times. And then China has been like, yeah, we can get nuked a bunch. Like Mao's literally quoted being like, you could like nuke our biggest cities and we'd still win this war. The mentality of like, yeah, China has so many people. They have a massive military. This isn't me going like, waving the Chinese flag, go, go, go. It's like the level of this war, no one in the U.S. State Department can even fucking imagine. Yeah. Also, what China would have to do is just blockade Taiwan for a week and collapse the global economy. Also, China holds so much of U.S. debt, they could just collapse the U.S. economy by just like defaulting on it, or having the U.S. default on their debt, or holding it as ransom. It's just like, we are in such a dumb era right now, and it's so stupid seeing just these fucking just knuckle-dragging racists in Europe unable to see that then like, okay, wait, maybe we shouldn't, like, just because whenever a Democrat gets in power in Europe, Europeans get so horny for they can't do wrong. Like, this guy who can't even, utter 3 sentences without having his, brain fall out of his ears is like is a person that we should follow. It's like,
no, his cousin beat the black and tans.
Yeah. Well, in that case, all right, yeah, take it back. But it's like we live in such a stupid era, but we also live in probably like one of the stupidest countries in this stupid era of that. Then Germany, like in their hyper Atlanticism right now, Germany being the second country that then sent delegates to Taiwan to then just like own China. And then like also really fun fact that I completely forgot about with the like no one remembers that. Then remember when the whole Nord Stream thing happened, that mystery. Olaf Scholz randomly went to the United States unannounced.
Oh yeah.
With no press, nothing. Just showed up in the US to personally talk with Biden about something. Bro, you're cucked. You're so fucking cucked. This like, and like, let's be like, come on. If you like, sorry, all right, that meeting there alone, proof enough that then the United States fucking did the Nord Stream thing.
I mean,
why?
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like, no, the evidence that I always come back
and the fact that just like the evidence is just completely there.
The thing that I always come back to is like, it was either them or the Russians, and if it was the Russians, we would never not be hearing about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
They'd be talking.
I mean, come on. There was a New York Times op-ed of like, we may not like what we find out about this. So let's just stop looking. It's like,
Oh my.
so you did it. You fucking did it. And like, this is the thing too, is that then to the weird fucking lib who's listening to me rant about this. One last thing here, before you let me do that, is that, like, can you think of an instance in the United States has ever told the truth?
No.
And I mean this like seriously, like, and you like. Can you think of one instance? Like the Gulf of Tonkin never happened. The reason why, even like the fucking USS Maine may have not happened the way that then they said it did. Why the United States ended up in the Spanish-American War. The United States lied about not knowing about the Holocaust. So on, so forth. Like, can you name 9/11? Is a bunch of questions there. Not that I believe that it was like an inside job, but ask Rob about 9/11. It's like or like just nothing but lie after lie after lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. And now we're seeing with now the leaks that then the Ukraine stuff, that then maybe the story that then the U.S. has been pushing was maybe not all completely true. Why do you think they're telling the truth about China? Like, how dumb do you? And I'm not saying that then that China's like right, but it's just like maybe don't trust a nation of compulsive liars that wants to like maybe destroy the world for their own gain, because there's a nation founded by religious political extremists, and that ideology has been at the core of the United States of Manifest Destiny through its entirety. Like, like maybe have a little bit of objectivity with how you're like viewing the world, and don't just, glug on fucking Joe Biden's cock for the next 4 fucking years. And also Biden's probably not going to be president for much longer. Let's just be honest with that too.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the things. So all right, so back to the notes.
Yeah, sorry. No, because this thing fucking pisses me off, and I feel like I'm like a fucking lunatic.
So this is the thing. So I'm sorry, I'm eating chips. The thing that I kind of come back to is I'm not really making any kind of moral decision about like which one is better. It's more just like it kind of feels like America's winding up the clock, and I don't think that. Yeah, there's Pelosi was kind of did weird things, but like I think if you're going like CIA, Pentagon, they're probably more gearing for Cold War rather than Hot War, because they're probably convinced themselves that they could win that like they won the last one.
I don't think that's the case. I really don't.
Like you don't think they would win?
No, my God, no.
And
the China's too integrated within the global economy, and their influence in the rest of the world of a lot of countries that like China, especially in like South America and Africa.
So this is the thing though, like because my memory of a lot of China
You're in your pre-woke phase.
In my pre-woke phase now, and like I don't actually know what the year cutoff would be, but a lot of the times the West and America and stuff just didn't want to talk about China, because like even if they didn't like it and they would let the Republicans just kind of like, or like the right in the country go on rants or stuff like that, they kind of all knew that like they're the factory of the world. We need them for manufacturing, so we're not going to like start too much shit. And now they're kind of like suddenly deciding they want to start some shit, and they're kind of like grasping for things to start shit over. But I think everyone's probably too integrated. So Macron does kind of represent something which has always been a problem. I've said has been a problem for a very, very long time, which is the US is having a very hard time getting Europe on board with the we need to be aggressive to China thing, because poll after poll after poll after poll has shown that Europe does not view China as an existential threat. They view Russia as an existential threat. And they've done that since pre-2014, pre-2022. But like China, they're just kind of like, we trade with them, we'll make money, they'll make money, Bob's your uncle. Probably somewhere in Central Asia will get fucked over in the process, but we've been doing that for ages. As I once put it before, like, oh no, Europe's going to play second fiddle to another country. We've been doing that for a long time. We can do it again with, same shit, different assholes or whatever. So this is the thing that is kind of like a bit weird about all of this, which is, Macron gives these statements. He mentions a lot of things I feel like you're just not allowed to mention. He, not only does he rail against like not wanting to be like going along blindly to, this is the quote that everyone's kind of talking about, going along blindly with like America's objectives. he talks about like, he literally talks about fucking US dollar dominance in the world.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the one of the things you do not talk about. And complaining about how European businesses had to pull out of sanctioned countries, which I think a lot of people like Politico has been trying to spin that as like soft on Russia, but I actually think that's more to do with Iran, because the Iran deal that happened under Obama's presidency, Obama, that Trump reneged on, was like massively pushed through by the EU, by like Federica Mogherini and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like EU was really hard in the paint for like, we're going to do business with Iran, and then suddenly had to start pulling out. So yeah, there's like, and then they're like, yeah, and that was Nick saying there's like a bunch of statements. Bearbox currently in China.
She's getting dunked on left and right. I guarantee you. Oh my God.
You're gonna see one of those like really fast trains, be like, oh shit, it's over.
It's just so funny because she's just someone who's like purposely made herself stupid by like just buying into the U.S. line to where she'll like contradict herself mid sentence. She's so dumb.
So yeah, this is the thing that I'm kind of thinking at the moment is, because we get pushback from Baerbock, we get pushback from Norbert Röttgen. He called it like a PR coup for China. Liz Truss in the UK, who I forgot as Prime Minister. No, she isn't. She isn't Prime Minister, but she's still around. She's trying to be.
She was for 49 days.
She was Prime Minister for 49 days, and she's trying. She has like a huge PR push to try and like get back in there, I think is.
Wasn't she talking in Washington like yesterday or the day before in like some Republican thing, and she was like being like the woke people,
the woke IMF stopped me.
Basically.
I love how she has the exact same talking points as Vladimir Putin.
Yeah,
It's so embarrassing.
So
it's like if I was Prime Minister for 49 days, and I started being all like cocky about it, and then I was like, I have to resign.
Yeah.
I would just
the woke mob.
go die in a hole and like never talk again. Like
she's
just
trying
get
to
money.
This is the
trying
thing,
to get-
though. This is
Oh
the
my
thing
God.
is that
that's why you weren't Prime Minister for 49 days.
Exactly.
It's this attitude.
Yeah,
there's just something that then is just inherently just disgusting within like the mentality of particularly just like I would say British people more than and Americans too. Is that then it's just like no other people have I met on earth think that they're like who are horrible at things think they're good at something. Like, and I notice this with work is that whenever we like try to get like Americans to film things, they're the biggest idiots on the face of the earth, and they're like, "Oh, but I'm a professional." It's like you're a professional because you say that you are. It's not because you actually are one. If I wanted to fucking actually hire a professional, I wouldn't hire anyone that then's on our fucking list because you guys are all dullards or like literal fucking film students who just like can't hold a camera. It's like a dog could fucking film better than you idiots. Find a better occupation. And the Brits are the exact same way. It is this just like this weird like. I've been gifted by God this power of white grace through capitalism and like the Protestant work ethic. I think I'm good at everything. Actually, maybe I should find a different job. But no one will tell them that, you know? Every other group of people I've met in the world, for some reason, have a better method of dealing with this than Brits and Americans. And Liz Truss, queen.
Yep.
Do it. Keep it up. You know what? 40, like, you should be embarrassed. Like, you should have left politics and just moved to the fucking countryside and lived your fucking life.
You just get money from the
Tory, exactly.
Like,
you would still get a pension because you are.
Pension,
you get a pension that then your monthly salary is probably more than I will see in like 3 years of work.
Exactly.
You know, it's like Jesus. Go away. Like clearly,
just retire
go
to
away.
Marbella or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Go fucking live. Yeah, exactly. Go like
Go to Spain.
go fucking turn in just like a piece of fucking roasted ham because I know that your skin complexion's gonna fucking just hate you for that. Oh my God.
She talked about Western weakness after the visit.
That.
Yeah.
You were prime minister for not even 50 days.
Yeah. Josep Borrell has COVID, so we're all waiting for bated breath what Josep Borrell says.
Jesus fucking Christ. Another absolute... This is the thing, too, that then I just think is so interesting about then particularly other countries in the world. Yeah. And I don't know if this is a problem with like maybe liberal democracy because holy shit, there is not a single smart person in any government in Europe. Like in governing coalitions at all.
But
like,
it's so funny that Borrell is like has such an important like job.
Only because
job title. But like, you know, and we Catalans, we're always proud of like you look at how this Catalan made it, and we're all like, we don't fucking claim him. Like, fuck this dude.
But I mean, like, come on, like
you've seen the this interview is over clip of where like he's being pressed, but like, why did you put this old woman into like solitary confinement? And he's like, okay, we're done.
Yeah, exactly. Joseph Borrell, Mr. I'm gonna lock your granny up, is the head of the fucking, whatever foreign policy for Europe, which isn't a thing. Ursula von der Leyen, who's had scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal, can't do anything, and wanted to her biggest priority a few months ago was murdering a wolf.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, what you're specifically
Biden can't finish a sentence.
Yeah, but what you're specifically describing with Josep and Ursula von der Leyen is the problem of like the EU is where
No. But I mean, take the EU out of it.
No,
all right?
I'm
Scholz,
adding to your point.
Scholz, like so uncharismatic that then whenever I see like tanky memes, they always put like Frank-Walter Steinmeier as the president of Germany instead of the Bundeskanzler. And Emmanuel Macron, whose head so fucking far up his ass that his Adam's apple's his nose. Like. Can you name one respectable person in any Western government who then isn't like an opposition figure? Like, we're fucking stupid.
Irene Montero.
One person.
But she's not a liberal, so.
Yeah.
She's just left wing.
So this is the thing, though. Okay, so point I'm getting at. Jesus.
There is no point.
There is a
this.
point. My God, Nick. There's notes. I did research. Because this is the thing. My point is, this is all fucking theater. They don't give a shit. They know what's happening. Because Charles Michel was on TV for an hour talking about the multipolar world and how fucking great that will be. Because Europe is fucking rich and we'll be fine. Like, I genuinely think, like, there was reports coming out that, like, the SPD is kind of like half the SPD is going like, maybe Macron has something here. Like, Baerbock's gone like, yeah, kind of insane or whatever. And she's like hitting the button over and over again that's working for her. All
right. We'll talk about this when Germany rips up its 5G network in a couple of months.
Oh, absolutely. Like they'll do insane things. Don't get me wrong. But
is that theater though? That you're like literally deindustrializing yourself. That's not theater at that point. That's literally you're so cucked.
No. So I genuinely think there are people who are looking at Macron's point who are actually like, yeah, in Europe, definitely. And the reason why you're also getting so much pushback from conservatives, from people who are like actively going like, we'll rip up our infrastructure, is because they view this as an actual threat of like someone like Macron's going to do Macron shit and try. And like all this is the context of like, the other added context, he's trying to distract from like the pension riots.
Yeah.
Like most recent thing he did is he gave a talk in the Netherlands where he got heckled halfway through about that.
Yeah.
So like, but like.
Yeah, in The Hague, wasn't it?
Yeah. So like, it's very hard to tell because like, the dangerous thing about what Macron is saying is it's very, very pragmatic for Europe to do that. To just be like, yeah, well, like China keeps talking about the multipolar world. What if we were one of those poles?
Yeah.
That'd be sick, nasty. We're rich. We think we're rich enough. We'll do some bullshit in Africa that'll be heinous.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Europe. But that's the thing, though, is that then Europe can't be rich by itself. It doesn't have anything here. So Europe needs like to destroy something else. Yeah. Where the U.S., Russia, China, even Turkey and India have like more natural resources and things that they can like levy. I mean, Turkey just for simply that then where it's just located. Europe is just like. They were only good at extracting wealth. They didn't actually ever have their own wealth,
Coal at one point.
Yeah. That fucking matters now. But it's like, Europe is like, sitting high and mighty because they think that their history fucking matters. When then also then to remember that the more that China's influence then goes into Africa, the more African countries are like, yeah, no, Europe, you fucked us over. We're going to want to work with them.
Yeah.
And we're going to also then, this, I think that then when the U.S. goes in dwindling power, Europe goes with it too, because Europe needs their, boy, because they can't do the imperialism the way that they could. I mean, like Macron tried and couldn't, come on, he couldn't like take out like 100 insurgents in like Mali. And then now like the fucking Wagner group's going just insane in Africa,
So the only reason I'm not necessarily convinced that would be the case, like obviously I do think that would be the case if Europe just goes ride or die for America, that we will go down with it. But the thing is, like, China doesn't have that negative an attitude to us. China wants us to remain.
No, of course. Again, yes, obviously.
They want us to buy their shit.
Yeah, 100%. Of course, that then China's going to like do everything in their power to make sure that then that this exists in the way that it does because it does benefit them. Like if China does lose the European
Belt and Road
market,
was about connecting Europe
Exactly.
with China. Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I don't know. I hope that you're right, but I just the stupider the more dumb people get into politics that we're seeing, like you know, I don't know, the more right wing parties, especially too, that get elected across Europe as well. You're gonna have just like, I mean, you know, those are always the most like well thought out fucking individuals on earth, aren't they? You know, yeah, I don't know. I'm worried. The fact that then, like, you know, you have like literal like Reddit ass countries like Lithuania being like, we're gonna recognize Taiwan. It's like, you really shouldn't do that if you wanted to like care about, you know, your country's economy. Maybe it's like, just get offline. Like, you know, like these countries are too weird.
All right, so I'm going to give us something, a little bit of Macron excellence, a little bit of color
love it, yeah.
for the end of this, because this interview that he did with Les Echos and Politico, this exclusive, was conducted on his personal aircraft. I've forgotten the name of it, but like basically
popping bottles in the ice like a blizzard.
It's an A330 aircraft.
So it's not a G6.
It's not a G6.
Damn.
I'm sorry. It's basically the French equivalent of Air Force One. While sitting in the stateroom of his aircraft, he was wearing. He basically stated that he believes that he had won the ideological battle for strategic autonomy for Europe. So like that's great, but I must state what he was wearing at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any guesses?
Gucci, Louis, Fendi, Prada. No.
Like a robe.
A robe. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
A satin robe.
what kind of sweatshirt was he wearing? Like,
oh, okay, interesting.
Nike.
yeah.
Is he cosplaying?
Yeah, is he an Air Force guy or whatever it was, or like a paratrooper?
He was wearing a black hoodie.
All right,
with the words emblazoned on his chest, French Tech. Just written on it.
What?
Because at the end of the day,
You can't see me, but I'm making the face that Macron made when he heard the Marseillaise. Oh my God, he's too good at being so dopey.
yeah, he's got his he's still
I knew-
I'm going to turn France into a startup guy.
Yeah, exactly. I love that you ended this with one that of course I knew was a black hoodie. I didn't know what was going to be on it, but I also love the fact that too, whenever Macron wears hoodies, he doesn't realize that you don't wear dress shoes with them. Like he doesn't. I don't think he owns a pair of normal shoes.
No, for sure.
Because
Yeah.
he like wears suits and all he does is he takes off the suit jacket and then puts on a hoodie
Yeah.
instead. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Like he's wearing a shirt under it. Like
Underneath, yeah.
yeah.
King.
So. With that was your weekly corner Späti. Again, April 22nd, live show, Selena Hotel in Mitte. It'll probably be starting at 2 p.m. I'll be sharing a link at various channels soon. It's free in, but you have to reserve a place.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm excited.
Good.
Me too.
Ciao.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Blazed SpongeBob hoodies soon.
Hell yeah, new corner Späti merch.
New first
yeah,
merch.
Timmy
Sued
Turner.
into the ground by
Yeah.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, yeah. What if Benjamin Blümchen was, smoked weed
It's not that
and
loud.
did crime? All right, take care.
But